I'm Rob Davey. I'm the Data Infrastructure and Algorithms Group Leader at the Genome Analysis Centre in Norwich in the UK. And my Twitter handle is Froggleston, so follow me and abuse me on Twitter by all means. I'm not going to mention Docker in my talk, but I realised just by saying that I've now mentioned it, so there we go. So I'm going to talk to you about COPO, which is a project in collaboration with lots of people, including the University of Oxford, Warwick, EBI, and we predominantly use the ICE tool, so it's great that Alejandra and Felipe are here to answer any questions about that you may have. So Tony and Felix are also in the audience, so check out their lovely faces and talk to them about this project. So what prevents plant scientists from openly depositing their data and metadata? So interoperability, we've heard lots about that today, and which is really great. Researchers might not be aware that these types of services exist. They might not have the expertise to use them, and they might not see the value in properly describing their data. So interoperability is really, it's about 5% technical. It's really not a problem now to wire things together. The problem is cultural. It's a real problem to try and convince people that this is the right thing to do. It's not because these services don't exist, so that some barriers must exist there. We can help with some infrastructure, and again, it's really great to be part of this kind of infrastructure talk, so we can wire these existing services together, we improve access, we facilitate collaboration, and ultimately we raise the profile of open science. So COPO is a grant sponsored by the BBSRC. We want to enable some standards-compliant data collection, curation, integration. We want to enhance access to data analysis and visualization pipelines and facilitate data sharing, and I'm really looking forward to chatting with the research object guys, because these projects clearly can use each other. We can really use that research object stuff. So this was a kind of brain fart that I did for the grant. You can see we're not actually trying to create a new data deposition service. We're trying to be brokers. We're trying to help users get metadata annotated their data with new interfaces, putting them into these well-funded existing repositories, hooking them up to data analysis platforms like Galaxy and iPlant and Bioconductor, these kinds of things, and then being able to publish that at the end of it, which is really important. I mean, data publication is becoming a big thing. So we want to be able to provide a system where you can search through COPO for any supported accessions. So when you put your data into your repository, you'll get accessions back from that repository, produce DOIs, and you can produce a full history of what was carried out from all the way through what you did with your raw data, all the way through to publication and everything, literally everything in between, and produce some linked data on that. So you could have a study with a researcher at an institute. You can have these little metadata fragments associated with raw data analysis software or outputs. Another study could be done by another researcher at the same institute. They're generating little bits of metadata as well. You can see that these little metadata fragments can link up through linked data, and we can track that. And that helps with transparency, right? You can go through and see exactly what was done. And this is really cool, because then you can start building graphs of interconnected data of all these analyses and outputs. So if you hit any part of that knowledge graph, you could retrieve any other bits on either side. So you could say, okay, if I'm another researcher here, I've used this bit of analysis software. Who else has used that? What data sets did they use? You could track who has used your data. This is like crazy important. So if you're putting data into these systems, you're tracking its provenance, you can say, okay, these are the 5 studies to use my data. That's important, especially if you're a tenure track scientist. You know, it's not just about producing those boring PDFs. You can say my data was used in 10 experiments, and that's how valuable it is. This is value. So addressing the technical issues, you have a single point of entry to deposit data sets into their suitable repositories. We're not trying to create new repositories. We're using the good existing ones. Producing wizard systems to guide users through metadata annotation and submission pathways. This is crazy important, getting users into these systems by saying, okay, this is how you're able to do that kind of stuff. Reducing friction to get their research into citable form. Reducing friction is great. Data citations should be first-class resources. I'm kind of hopefully preaching to the converted. And make linked data available to platforms like F1000 Research and GigaScience and things like that. They're great publication platforms. So basically, we have a greater access to a wider, deeper range of better understood research. So we're able to answer questions like this. How many studies have used my data in their analysis? How many times has my data been cited? These are important questions. And it makes research data valuable by being transparent, findable, reusable, citable, all good things. So thank you. We have a poster downstairs. Please come and talk to us. So you've already heard from Alejandra and Philippe, who've done some great work. And Felix and Tony are here, as well as me, obviously, because I'm here. And please follow us on Twitter and ask us questions. Thank you.